Hey Arthur, thanks for popping in. Dustin, no. There's virtually no heat on the blades. I mean, you have to be careful on the lower grit, like the 120, the first belt that I started off with. Yeah, you got to be careful. You can't stay in one place at one time. These are all kitchen knives, Arthur. You're quite welcome. I mean, you can burn a knife if you're not careful. So this is a shun. Very low edge angle, 16 degrees per side. And it's fairly chewed up. It's got some dings in it, but that's typical of a shun knife. It also looks like they're using it in a drag-through sharpener because there's the bevel's a little different right in here versus there. Just kind of jacked up. We're going to fix it. So there's virtually no heat on that blade. If it was hot enough to the touch, that would be too hot. There's none. Let's see if we got all the little rough marks out of it. Looks pretty good. Actually, let's go back this way. I'm not going to change the geometry of the blade. More light over here. What is that? A little bit better. 16 degrees. A shun will be 16 degrees per side. But if you sharpened it at 20 degrees, it would be just fine. I don't think you'd notice the difference between 16 and 20. The 20 would probably last you a little bit longer. And 1,000 grit stone would be perfect to keep it sharp. That's a good call on your part to take care of your knives. Well, I appreciate y'all hit that thumbs up button. 152 people. My pedal's not working. There it is. Pedal was stuck. 153 people watching. Please hit that thumbs up button and help the algorithm out. Your support does help our little channel grow. We get a little bit of income off of this channel. And we do mail-in sharpening from all around the United States. You've probably changed the way it looked. You've probably lowered the edge angle. The factory edge angle is very, very thin. You know, they're using a specific machine to sharpen it, so you probably have put a little bit wider bevel on the knife, but that's not unusual. You're doing everything you need to do with the knife. Are you using a sharpening steel in between using your whetstone? Light is blinding me. $16 degrees per side. And this knife was pretty dull compared to his other ones. My pedal's acting up. Oh, I'm not, Patrick, I'm not that much into EDC knives. You probably find another channel that would give you more information than I could on an EDC. Correct. That's perfect. That's fantastic. That'll keep your knife in better shape longer between using your stone. I think you're doing everything you need to do. No problem, Patrick. I don't want to give you information, Patrick, that I'm not familiar with. I mean, if you just want a good brand, it seems like the Benchmades are probably the best brand out there, but which one and which steel, I would find somebody that knows EDCs better than I do. Nothing wrong with a buck knife. Well, you're doing everything. I don't think you have a concern with your knife. I think you're doing everything you should be doing. Sorry about all the background noise. I have the dust collection system on. Yes, this is a leather strop. Well, I appreciate you all watching out there. I hope you hit that thumbs up button. Now this knife came in and had a big nick in it, and I had to use another machine to get it straightened out. So it's basically flat. There's no edge on this because I took the edge completely off of it. So this is going to take a little bit more work to get down to 16 degrees. So we'll have to take our time with it because I don't want to heat up this blade. Jonathan, the clamp is really just for me. It does. I mean, it's if back here you can't see it in the camera. There's a T-bar, and so the clamp sits up against the T-bar, and I can adjust the angle up and down. So yes, it's the clamp doesn't hold it at the angle. The T-bar holds it at an angle. The clamp just helps me hold the knife steadier. You don't have to use the clamp with this machine. You can freehand on it, but the older I've gotten, the less steady my hands are, so the clamp just works better for me. And see, I zero it out. So there's my digital protractor. I zero it out to the platen, and then with the clamp, I can adjust the clamp up and or the T-bar up and down. Whoop. Hey, what's going on? Luis, I don't know. This is a shun. So what is the shun from the factory? It's can't see it on there. Can't see the label, but it's a shun. You have to look at Shun's website and see what steel they use. Shun knives are very brittle. Sean, it's away. I use edge trailing. But this machine is reversible. You could use edge leading if you wanted to. I just prefer trailing. It's a personal preference. You can look on the website and tell, if you go to Shun's website, it tells you what the edge angle is for their knives. Most Japanese knives are anywhere from 16 as low as 10 degrees per side. An American or a Western knife is usually around 20 degrees. There's lots of information on the internet about edge angles for different knives, and there's a million different opinions too. You can also do a scratch test and figure out what the factory edge angle is. The S30V, well, I mean, you can do it with a stone. It just takes you forever. That's a very hard steel there. If you like to sharpen, go get you a Work Sharp Kin Onion edition. That's a great little knife sharpener, especially for your everyday carries like the Benchmades, that S30V steel. All right, so we got a new edge on it. We're ready to go down from here. It's not really Damascus, it's etched. Real Damascus steel would be outrageous. Jonathan, I think I have a couple a couple YouTube videos out there doing a scratch. I'll tell you what, if you hang around on the next knife, I'll do a scratch test. How about that? You give me just a minute, and I'll do one on the very next knife. I'll show you what I mean by a scratch test. I don't know about it being expertise, Luis. But check out my YouTube channel and look at some of the Work Sharp videos. I think you'll like that knife sharpener. I think it's a good overall knife sharpener for somebody who just wants to sharpen a few tools around their house. It's not cheap, but it's a good machine. And you can go to the Work Sharp, their webpage. They've got lots of videos on their products. We're almost finished with this knife, Jonathan, and we'll do the scratch test real quick. Sean, I've been doing this 10 years, and no, I don't pay any attention to the economy whatsoever. I'm busier than I want to be. You can't worry about what the economy does. You just got to hustle. Everybody's got a knife that needs sharpening. Everybody's got a pair of scissors. And even if there's a recession, people are going to get their hair cut. If you own a dog, well, I've been laid off multiple times in my career, different jobs. I don't worry about what everything else happens. I just worry about myself. So that one's done. All right. So here we go. We're gonna. I gotta find my marker. Hang on one second. So scratch test. So what I do is I mark the blade with a marker. There we go. So then I want to do a little scratch. I just put the blade on there and scratch it on the, and can you see the mark? Let's see if we can see the mark. I don't know if we can see the mark very good. You see it? Where I've rubbed off the blade, off the marker from the blade, and so it's right at that degree. And if I was too low on it, it would be further back on the marker. So I want to make sure I'm taking off that black marker right at the edge, and there's no black on this side, and the marker's not removed too far back on the blade. So here we go. See that? See the marker? The marker is gone. And I have a burr. I can feel the back side of the blade and feel a burr on the blade. So we'll do this side now. See the marker's gone? So Jonathan, if you're still on there, that's what I mean by a scratch test. And you can do the same thing if you're sharpening on a stone. Take your marker and put it across the blade like that, cover the edge, and then get on your stone and run it across your stone as whatever edge angle you're trying to achieve, and then look and see where the marker has been removed. And you'll know how to adjust your angle based on the marker, or where the marker has been removed. It's pretty easy. And it doesn't matter what kind of sharpening system you're using. I'm using belts, but if you're using a stone or a pull-through sharpener or something like that, it'd be the same thing. I've just been doing this long enough where I pretty much know pretty close to where the angle is going to be on any given knife. Alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Here, we'll do that right now. See? All gone. Then you keep going. I clean all my knives with after sharpening with rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. Hey Jim, sorry I got distracted and couldn't call you back. We had family in, my nieces were staying, they were coming through the garage while we were talking on the phone. So I got these knives to do. Do you have any kind of oil? No oil on any of the blades. The only thing I put only belt I put anything on is the leather belt, the leather strop, and I'll use a little bit of white polishing compound, or sometimes some green. I've got some green up here. The white seems to work as well as anything else. Everything's dry. All right, here's another shun. Luis, the first one, this is a 120, and it's a very worn 120. 120 is pretty aggressive. That's 16 degrees right there. So the first one is a 120 belt. And that'll bring up a burr real quick. So I've already got a burr on the back side. Then I use a 200. This just refines the edge a little bit more than the 120 does. This is a 600. This is the 1200. Now after the 1200, before I go to the next one, I like to take the burr off if I can, as much of the burr as I can off of it. This is just a little piece of leather, and I'm just gently running it across the edge. And then I like to go to a felt belt. And I like the fibers on the felt to be up to grab the burr. So sometimes I'll clean that belt up a little bit with a little wire brush, and it just gets all the fibers of the felt belt to stand up a little bit better. And then it'll grab that rest of the burr pretty well. You can't see it, but all the little burrs are just flicking off everywhere right there. And so at this point, there's virtually no burr left on that blade. And then I finish with a leather belt. And I will say I don't do this. This is not for every knife. It just depends on the customer. I have a conversation with the customer whether they like a slick edge or they like their knives a little more toothy. This guy likes a slick edge. And most of the time on the shun knives, most people want a polished edge on a shun. Because of the low edge angle, you can get away with that. I charge $1 per inch of length of blade. So this is a 7-inch Santoku chef knife. It's $7. And I'm probably very low in my prices compared to some other people. Alright, we got 2 more knives. So if y'all have any questions, you better be asking them pretty quick. And this one is pretty worn. You can tell they use this knife a lot. Well, I appreciate y'all watching out there. I hope you hit that thumbs up button. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I'm Mike White. I'm with Sharpen Services down in League City, Texas. League City is on the Texas Gulf Coast, halfway between Houston and Galveston. We sharpen salon, barber, and pet grooming shears, clipper blades, sewing scissors, industrial scissors, and just about any kind of knife. One more knife left of this batch. I've got a couple more people dropping off today. All right, well, this is the last knife. I do have a pair of scissors to do. So that's all the knives. So we're gonna do some scissors. I'm gonna have to move the camera. So y'all want to stay and watch scissors. So here we go. First we go. There's the dog. That's my security team. All right, so we got some scissors to do. So here's the scissors. I don't know how they're cutting. These are kitchen shears, Wusthof kitchen shears. So we'll just try some paper towel. They cut. A little crunchy. See if we can make them sharper. So we're going to do the scratch test. This is specifically important, especially on scissors. Let me rotate that a little bit. There we go. Now we got the right edge angle, I think. Maybe a little bit more. All right. See how it looks? Looks good, got a burr. Now usually these scissors are the same edge angle on each side. We'll see. Not quite. There we go. I didn't get all the way through the tip. Now we did. Now removing the burr is a little different on a pair of scissors than it is on a knife. So I got to push that burr forward. And I like to take a little piece of wood and just run it along the grain. And now that burr's gone. Let's do the other blade. Just pushing that burr up. Where's my alcohol? I like to take a Scotch-Brite pad, clean the inside edge. Well, I appreciate y'all watching. That's it for now. Now let's see how they cut. They were pretty, they cut, they were just kind of grippy. Oh, now it's like butter. Much better. So there we go. There's a pair of kitchen shears. Appreciate y'all watching this. Appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. I appreciate you subscribing to my channel and supporting us. I hope y'all have a great Sunday afternoon. Thanks, Luis.